A very good evening. There couldn't be a more sensational Friday, more sensational than any Bollywood release. A Friday that started with this particular news article on Times of India. A news article which has sent ripples across the country, not limited to the legal corridors alone, not limited to the corridors of journalistic fraternity, but has sent shockwaves to every house, every neighborhood, every city, every state, every district, and across the country, almost compelling people to seek accountability from judiciary. For now, there are questions galore before the Supreme Court Collegium, before the Judge of Delhi High Court, Justice Yashwant Varma. This one news article, essentially with the head title Fire at Delhi High Court Judge's Home Unearths Cash Pile, is basically a clear indication that probably something is amiss and there has to be proper answers given by this very judge who has so far maintained absolute conspicuous silence, and the reason why it is time to question. What is this silence all about and why is there so much of silence? First thing first, reading from the report of the Times of India, which has been published today, it clearly says that a fire that broke out in the residential bungalow of Delhi High Court judge resulted in recovery of a huge pile of cash, sending shockwaves in judicial corridors and forcing the Supreme Court Collegium, led by Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, to decide to transfer him to another High Court, that is Allahabad High Court. When the fire broke out, Justice Yashwant Varma was not in town and his family members called the fire brigade and police. After the fire was doused, the first responders discovered a huge amount of cash kept inside a room, leading to official entries being made about the recovery of what appeared to be unaccounted for money. The cops informed their seniors, who briefed the brass about the accidental discovery. Soon, the news reached the higher-ups in government, who in turn informed the Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice Khanna, Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna took a very serious view and immediately called for a collegium meeting to decide on the action to be taken. The collegium was unanimous that Justice Verma needed to be transferred outside Delhi immediately. He has been transferred to his parent High Court, Allahabad High Court. He had moved from there to Delhi High Court in October 2021. Now, this report, which has been published by Times of India, has actually sent ripples all across. There are certain details which have not been given out in this very report. Question number one, when did this fire incident happen? When it was reported? Answer to that is March 14, 2025. Make no mistake, today is March 21st, which means almost 7 days back. This incident of fire was reported at the residence, at the bungalow of the second most senior judge of Delhi High Court, Justice Yashwant Varma, irrespective of the fact whether he was in town or at the bungalow physically present or not. The question that has come to fore are very serious in nature. Whether money was actually found inside the bungalow of Justice Yashwant Varma. There is another report which has been filed by the print. While most of the other reports coming from New Delhi have only attributed to this Times of India report, we found another report which is quite independent, not depending on the Times of India report. And this report filed by print confirms that this incident of fire happened on March 14. Let's read out an excerpt of this very report. Jute sacks full of cash stashed in a corner of the outhouse at the residence of Delhi High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Varma were allegedly spotted by firefighters and police on the night of 14 March as fire tenders worked to extinguish a blaze there. But no official record or seizure of cash was made after officials were told by judge's staff that the contents were merely stationery and court papers that had been damaged. That the print has independently learned. The report also says that Atul Garg, director of Delhi Fire Department, has refuted reports of cash being found at the residence of Justice Yashwant Varma. Quoting from the report which Print has filed, we only controlled the fire and nothing unusual was reported there. The police were already present before we arrived. Fire department officials did not find any cash, he said, contradicting earlier claims of a cash discovery. What blew the lid, the report finally goes on to say, what blew the lid, however, were videos and photos that the fire department had taken as part of procedure in any fire incident, showing the cash bags that were eventually sent to the Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, following which the action to transfer Verma was taken, something which has been confirmed by multiple sources. Now, before we proceed any further, by evening there has been a statement issued by the Supreme Court. Here's the statement which has been issued by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has taken almost half a day to respond to the report which was first filed by Times of India, and after half a day was passed in the evening, this statement has been issued by the Supreme Court. What is Supreme Court saying? Supreme Court is saying there is misinformation and rumors being spread with regard to the incident at the residence of Mr. Justice Yashwant Varma. Then goes on to say the in-house inquiry procedure set up and prescribed by the Supreme Court in C. Ravichandran Iyer versus Justice A. M. Bhattacharjee, 1995, 5 SCC 457 is available on the website. Technical details have been given. Goes on to say, on receiving the information, the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court commenced the in-house inquiry procedure, collecting evidence and information. The Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, who had commenced his inquiry prior to the collegial meeting on 20th of March 2025, will be submitting his report to the Chief Justice of India today, that is 21st of March 2025. Has the report been submitted? We are not sure, because there has not been a second statement issued by the Supreme Court. The report will be examined and processed for further and necessary action. The proposal for transfer, this is what the statement says. The proposal for transfer of Mr. Justice Yashwant Varma, who is the second senior most judge in Delhi High Court and a member of the Collegium, to his parent High Court, that is High Court of Judicature of Allahabad, where he will be ninth in seniority, is independent and separate from the in-house inquiry procedure, which means what was so far perceived to be a punishment transfer, it's kind of refuted by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says it's a procedure. Now tell me which procedure? Which procedure entertains or celebrates demotion? Justice Yashwant Varma was the second most senior judge in Delhi High Court. He has now been transferred to Allahabad High Court, where as per Supreme Court, he will be ninth in order of the ranking as far as seniority is concerned. So from being second, he has now been transferred to a High Court where he would be number 9, which is seven positions demotion. Should we call that a demotion or a promotion? And why should that be celebrated and not seen as a punishment posting or some action being taken or he has been reprimanded? And why it became a talking point? Because this bar and bench report clearly says that Allahabad High Court Bar Association had strongly criticized this transfer of Justice Yashwant Varma. So much so that the Bar Association of Bar Association of Allahabad High Court had said that, look, we are not a trash bin that you can send anyone anytime you want. This is not what we are saying. This is what Allahabad High Court Bar Association had said. Crores. Some are saying 15 50 crores. Now, whether it's 100 rupees, 50 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 crore, 100 crore, 5,000 crore, not know how much money was recovered and where is the money now. Most importantly, this news was published in the morning of Friday. We are reporting at 9 o'clock in the evening of Friday, which means almost 20 hours have passed by. Chalo, 12 hours have passed by. Why is there not a single statement from Justice Yashwant Varma? How long does it take to come in front of the media and refute all these allegations? Didn't we see Justice Ranjan Gogoi define the usual convention, held a press conference and took questions from the media, did a press conference to highlight certain pressing issues? Doesn't matter, he eventually became a member of parliament sent to the Rajya Sabha by BJP. Haven't you seen former Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, give interviews after interviews to media houses? So as far as talking to the press is concerned, is not beyond convention, right? So going by that same newfound convention, if Justice Yashwant Varma had held a press conference, or if not a press conference, issued a statement like Supreme Court has issued a statement refuting all these charges, things would have been much simpler. So things got complicated because there is a conspicuous silence on part of Justice Yashwant Varma. Number one, how much money was found? Number two, if the money was found on 14th of March, how come this had stayed hush-hush till 20th of March 2025? This report has come out on 21st of March 2025, which means almost 7 days have passed by. And in 7 days, किसी को भनक भी नहीं लगी. Nobody had any idea, no inkling. Nobody had any information. How is that possible? Question number two. If the cash was found, did the police of New Delhi, that comes directly under the Union Home Ministry, make any GD entry? Say suppose you find unaccounted cash in my house accidentally, and if I am unable to give you a convincing response, what is this money all about? Where has it come from? Then certainly, even if you don't want to seize it, you would mention that in your report. The GD entry is procedural, where what you see as an officer responding to any situation gets documented, which can then be treated or taken into consideration in any future investigation if it happens. Was any GD entry done by New Delhi Police that comes under the Union Home Ministry, stating that they had found unaccounted cash? There is no GD entry. Did the fire department that had also reached the spot, responding to the situation, did the fire department inform any higher ups? Was it an official communication? Now that there is a talk that video has been sent to Chief Justice of India Sanjeev Khanna, was there any documentation independent done by the fire department? Did they send any official report to the New Delhi police seeking an inquiry, or at least suggesting them that, look, we found this, should there not be a probe into this? Question number 4, if the money was found and if the money was unaccounted, then was the State Bank of India or appropriate authorities informed? How am I so sure about the procedure? Because in the past several months, we have seen huge cash recovery, mostly done by the Enforcement Directorate. The state that I belong to, I come from, that is West Bengal. In the capital city of West Bengal, there was huge cash recovered from a very close associate of former minister in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet, Partho Chatterjee. He was the former education minister. Partho Chatterjee's close aide, very close associate, Arpita Mukherjee's house was raided by Enforcement Directorate on 22nd of July 2022. On 22nd of July 2022, the cash was found and amount was given out to media. What was the amount? Roughly about 20 crore was found unaccounted from the house of Arpita Mukherjee. Following the discovery of that money, ED officials who were parallelly conducting raids at Partho Chatterjee's residence continued with the raid asked him more questions, and only arrested him on 23rd of July 2022. Eventually, another 7 days or 5 days went by, and on 27th of July 2022, another tranche of cash was recovered from another house of Arpita Mukherjee, who had been a close associate of Partho Chatterjee. That time too, money was discovered as we media people were waiting outside the flat. A vehicle had come down carrying all cash counting machines. That also apprised us about a procedure. Now, when the vehicle came, the cash counting machines were brought in, and the cash counting machines essentially were brought in to count the cash. We have the visual, we will try and play it from 27th of July 2022. And in that visual, you would clearly see as how a vehicle was brought, a vehicle had ferried down all cash counting machines. Now, what is the procedure? The procedure says that when there is unaccounted money, the appropriate authority will immediately inform State Bank of India. State Bank of India will then send all the cash counting machines. Only State Bank of India can send. We have those visuals. We will try and play them. How cash counting machines will count the money. Cash counting machines will count the money, and thereafter it would be officially documented by the investigating authority. That's the visual, right? Now the point is, was State Bank of India informed by Delhi police, who have never made any documentation of the alleged accidental discovery of money at the residence of Justice Yashwant Varma? If not, why? Where is the money now if allegedly money was discovered? And if ED can count or finish counting money, or State Bank of India on behalf of Enforcement Directorate can finish counting money in the case of Partho Chatterjee / Arpita Mukherjee and can inform ED in a couple of hours, how come we still do not have a figure as how much alleged money was allegedly accidentally discovered from the residence of Justice Yashwant Varma? If 50 crore could be counted in, say, couple of hours, then why is it taking so long for some authority to confirm as how much money has been found? Imagine, in the case of Jharkhand, in May 2024, there was a huge cash overhaul. Over 30 crore was discovered from a domestic help, from the house of a domestic help of an aide of Jharkhand Minister Alamgir. It is May 2024. More than 30 crore recovered by Enforcement Directorate. So if 30 crore could be counted and confirmed by Enforcement Directorate in May 2024 in a couple of hours, then how come we still do not have an official figure as how much money has been found from the residence of Justice Yashwant Varma? Again, in May 2022, about 19 crore was recovered from the two aides of IAS, Pooja Singhal, again in Ranchi. ED had raided the houses in connection with alleged money laundering and money embezzlement of Manrega funds, and over 19 crore recovered. I'm trying to stress on the figure because it is possible to count money. So if money has been found, allegedly, accidentally, at the residence of Yashwant Varma, Justice Yashwant Varma, my lord, maaf kijiyega, how come we do not have a concrete figure? That's the question baffling many. That's the question baffling many. Why is there so much of hush-hush about this matter? Why is this matter only discussed on social media? Why is it some spokesperson of this party, that party raising this issue, but why is there no official statement from Delhi police, no official statement from the fire department, no official statement from the Delhi High Court, and no official statement from the judge himself, Justice Yashwant Varma? And we are not trying to cast aspersion on the judiciary. Well, we're only trying to say the right to ask question is fundamental and right to ask question is sacrosanct. So no one should take this as a contempt. Judiciary, is of course sacrosanct. We are all expected to bow our heads before judiciary, seek justice from judiciary, but can anyone deny the fact that in Satara, which is in Maharashtra, a bribery case was alleged against a sessions court judge, and his name is Justice Dhananjay Nikam. When did this happen? In December 2024. How did this come to fore? This judge, Justice Dhananjay Nikam, allegedly had asked for 5 lakh rupees in order to give bail to an applicant. So in order to give bail, he asked for 5 lakh rupees. And his own bail was denied by the Bombay High Court in March 2025. So if judiciary is sacrosanct, fair enough, but are all judges absolutely clean? We're not trying to cast aspersions on the judges or all of them, but if there are cases like Dhananjay Nikam, should it be logical to give benefit of doubt to Justice Yashwant Varma and say that he's above all such sorts of probe and he cannot be wrong at all because, my lord, they are the lord of the society? Another point. Here is a tweet which has come from Indira Jaising. Indira Jaising, a very prominent lawyer and a very senior advocate. Indira Jaising has put out a tweet questioning the collegium. And Indira Jaising is saying that the collegium should come out clean. That the collegium must answer as how much money has been found and what is the truth all about. Indira Jaising, a senior advocate, a very senior advocate, is questioning this. Just not Indira Jaising, senior advocate Kapil Sibal has also come on record and given out a statement. While Kapil Sibal says that he will probably not be able to give a direct statement on this particular incident, but he is certain that there had been allegations of wrongs happening in judiciary, and thus the image of the judiciary should not be hit, and it can only be done through proper actions taken by the collegium. Here's what Kapil Sibal had said.
First of all, I am not aware of any of the facts. If the Supreme Court Collegium is seized of the matter, the Supreme Court Collegium will take action on it if they wish to take action. I mean, I'm not aware of any of this. I have also read it in the newspaper. So I don't want to comment in any way one way or the other. But certainly the issue of corruption within the judiciary is a very serious issue, and this is not something that has been articulated by senior counsel and lawyers in this country for the first time. It's been going on for years and public statements have been made. So I think that it's time for the Supreme Court to start looking at issues of how the appointment process should take place, that it should be more transparent, appointments should be more carefully done. There's another judge of the Allahabad High Court, as you know, against whom the collegium called him for an explanation, and he chose not to respond to their direction that he should apologize. This is what I've heard. I mean, I'm not myself privy to any of this. And thereafter, the Supreme Court Collegium has kept quiet. Now, that also sends a wrong signal, if these facts are correct. If these facts are not correct, then of course my statement is also inaccurate. But it sends a wrong signal. That means that a judge can say what he wants to say and conduct himself in whatever manner he wants to conduct himself, and the collegium will remain silent and not take any proactive action. That also sends a wrong signal to the public at large, because corruption is a serious issue, not just within the judiciary, but in society. At large, corruption is a serious issue amongst public functionaries. And corruption has, despite whatever our dear Prime Minister has said, has increased. And आपको याद होगा कि जब ये लोकपाल की एजिटेशन हुई थी, तो मतलब कि सभी राजनीतिक दल कांग्रेस पे आरोप लगाते थे, और फिर ये लोकपाल की लेजिस्लेशन लाए भी, और आज तक कुछ हुआ? मतलब कि सरकार गिरा दी गई, और उसके बाद इन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया, ना केजरीवाल जी ने कुछ किया, ना प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कुछ किया। एक लोकपाल को बैठा दिया और वो तो आप देख ही रहे हो क्या करते हैं। तो ऑब्वियसली ये मामले बड़े सीरियस मामले हैं और सिस्टम्स जब तक इन प्लेस नहीं होंगे तब तक
So you heard what senior advocate Kapil Sibal had said. There are several questions before the collegium, and for the sake of transparency, for the sake of truth, answers better come as soon as possible. The silence on part of Justice Yashwant Varma would only force people to question the integrity of judiciary. Justice Yashwant Varma is still silent. In 7 days' time, we do not know how much money has been found. Still, till now, we do not know if there had been any official documentation done as far as discovery of money is concerned. Till now, we do not know whether the ED was informed or some central agency had been informed. Yes, in the case of judges, you cannot really take any action, they can only be impeached. But can we let anyone become bigger than the law, especially who are expected to be the gatekeepers of the law? At this point in time, questions galore. And this Times of India report cannot be brushed inside under the carpet so simply. Because if cash for query inside the parliament can become a talking point to an extent, can go to the judiciary, in the corridors of judiciary. Cash for justice, if that is the case, should also become the talking point, and truth should definitely come out. For now, we thank all of viewers for joining us. We say good night and take care. Probably it's going to be a very long night for Justice Yashwant Varma to decide as what possibly can be his statement and when can he finally issue that.